Hey everybody, it's your girl Bondi Blue and I am back for another Halloween movie review. It's something I started last year and I was asked to continue this year. So for this movie review, we're going to be doing The Craft. Oh wait, before I get into it, that's better. The Craft opens with us seeing a table a lot like mine, full of candles, and there are girls around the table chanting, chanting. And then we zoom in on big bright eyes of Nancy, aka Faruka. Okay? Faruka is just creepy within herself. It's something about her eyes, her intensity level. It's kind of scary. Okay? You don't really need much to be freaked out by Faruka. And that is in like the nicest way possible. Like I mean that in such a good way. I'm a fan. Then, as if to show the juxtaposition between light and dark, we see Sarah. Okay, Sarah is coming to LA to a new home with her family, her stepmom, her little brother. Her mom is deceased. Her mom also moves in pictures, so that should let you know something. I find it very odd that there are snakes all over the property and that there is also a homeless man on the property as well in what seems like a upscale LA neighborhood. Just a lot going on in the first 5 minutes. Sarah's dad chases him off, with the sleeves rolled up, like he's had a hard days at work. We see her get to school and her swag is different. She's loose and, kind of bohemian-esque, like a regular degular schmegler. Okay, she gets to this new high school and there are the jocks/jerks. Okay, they're really annoying. Skeet Ulrich, okay, the killer from the original Scream movie. Aha, he has a creepy eye thing himself. Okay, he can stare and you don't know whether he's gonna be like Sydney. You don't know what's gonna happen. He makes you nervous, but he also, he's kind of cute. So he's kind of like the jerk heartthrob in this movie. And then we see the weirdos, which are the other main characters. We have Bonnie, has scars all over the place, so she kind of walks around tucked into a jacket. Then we have our token black character because it's the 90s and we want to draw a crowd. So we need at least one black person in the movie. And Rachelle is that girl. Let's not even get into how they actually treated the actress as it pertains to touring about this movie. They'll do like Comic-Con and stuff and not invite her. So disrespectful. But I digress. Back to the movie. Nancy has a noose in her locker, which I would have found racial if it wasn't for the, hanging and burning of witches connotation. But still, like your trailer trash with a noose in your locker and your black friend is just like standing there like nothing's happening. I just was a tad bit uncomfortable. Something I didn't notice at first, but when you're making notes to review things as an adult, you see a whole bunch of things that are problematic that weren't in the 90s. In class, Bonnie, all shrunk down into her jacket, sees Sarah playing with a pencil. And all of a sudden you see the pencil is turning on its own. Sarah's doing it with her mind. Bonnie thinks our fourth. Everyone's breath is suspended in midair until Bonnie breathes and Sarah drops the pencil. But now she's been seen using magic. Bonnie tells the other two that their fourth has arrived. Chris, the jock jerk number 1, notices Sarah in class and then sits down to her at lunch to apologize for his disrespectful little cunt friends. Yes, that's right. I said cunt. She notices Bonnie, Nancy, and Rachelle staring at her. And Chris says it's the bitches of Eastwick. And she says, huh? He says, yeah. Rumor is they're all witches. He asks her to come and watch him practice football. Sounds really entertaining, right? She says no, but then after school, Bonnie, Rachelle, and Nancy find her outside of the football field watching him practice. They come over and apologize for their rudeness and invite her on a little shopping spree, so to speak. It's a 5-finger discount where they go to a metaphysical store and steal. So we're to assume that everyone else is poor. Okay. Nancy did take this time to warn Sarah about Chris and how much of a jerk he really is. I don't know why she didn't take this advice, but I guess deep down inside, she really felt like she was better than Nancy, and that if he had treated Nancy badly, it was because of her, and not because he was some douchebag. But turns out, Sarah, he is. Bonnie also noticed on the walk to the store that Sarah had slit her wrist before, the right way. Rochelle wanted to know, what do you mean the right way? How do you know what's the right way? There's a right and a wrong way. Just saying. There's a movie way, and then there's the way in order to sever things that will actually help you bleed out faster. But I don't want to give that type of advice. So let's move on. Sarah actually ends up taking a liking to the store owner and decides not to steal from her. Then, as the day darkens and they walk down a hectic LA street, that same homeless man who had a snake at her house is on the street saying he has a message for her. Very creepy, very scary. So they run and they run, and then at some point they all look back at him. And then a car hits him, and they run into the trees, wondering, did we kill him? Did we do that? We can make things happen, you guys. She's our north. That's it, y'all. East, west, south, north, we got it. We can make things happen. I'm like, Bonnie, cool your heels. You're about to jump out of your jacket. The conversation continues on, and Sarah shares that she herself has done things magical. They think now that they found a fourth, Manon will finally listen to them. Who is Manon, you may ask? Well, from what they explain, he's everything. He's nature. He is both feminine and masculine. He is both negative and positive. He is both the light and the dark. Older than God, they said. Sarah asked if they worship the devil. They giggle. The devil, God no. The devil is new. Manon is older than that. Sarah tells them that she's a natural witch, and once before she wished for it to rain and a pipe bust in her room. Nancy, being the hater that she is like, that's nothing. You ever took in the power of Manon? And Sarah's like, what does that mean? And she's like, oh, that's when you take him in you, and he makes everything all better. And Sarah says, nothing makes anything all better. Echoing my sentiments, Nancy made Manon sound like a drug. I would have been worried too if I was Sarah. She goes home, they're freaking her out, they're freaking me out. Ignoring Nancy's warnings about Chris, Sarah goes and meets up with him at hookup point. And they have a nice little conversation, and he tries to take her back to his house, his car, whatever. And she says, no, she's going to go home. I mean, she just met you. This is her first day of school, Chris. And you want her to hook up with you the first day of school, Chris? So she says no, and she goes home. The next day at school, Nancy, Bonnie, and Rachel let her know why everyone is giggling when she walks past. Chris has been going around telling everyone that she was the most terrible lay he ever had. And coming from him, that says a lot. Sarah is devastated, in tears, runs down the hallway to him. Chris, we need to talk. His asshole friends are giggling. Oh my God, she's gonna cry, and then we're gonna cry. And I'm like, someone needs to get kicked in the dick. He says, stop asking me to sleep with you again. It's really embarrassing. Embarrassing her further by saying something like that. She cries and says, you, Chris. At the pool, Rachel is trying to make a deep dive into the pool. But Marcia Brady is down on the sidelines being a racist hater. Just as Rachel makes her jump, Marcia Brady screams and she falls wearily down into the water, crashing on her back. I'm sure it hurt. Marcia Brady and her friends thought it was funny. When they're in the locker, Rachel can hear Marcia Brady saying that, oh, a pubic hair is in my brush. Oh, wait, no, it's one of Rachel's little nappy hairs. And Rachel says, I've had enough, and walks over to her and says, what is your problem, Laura? Because that's her real name, Laura Lizzie. Isn't that cute? Alliteration. I'd have punched her in her p. How's that for alliteration? Marcia Brady informs Rachel she just doesn't like Negroids. I was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Not Negroids. Oh, no. This is hurtful. Bonnie goes to the doctor's office with her mother to try and see if she can possibly get the scars from her neck, shoulders, and back removed. The procedure may not work, and it's very painful. She has to lie on a table as little needles pinch her back over and over again, at a accelerated speed. It looked quite painful. The scene ended in a large scream. Why no drugs? Why no drugs? Why do doctors like to make people suffer? Why no drugs? Oh my God. Then we see Sarah having a flashback of when she cut her wrist the right way, seemingly drinking water with blood in it. I don't know what was happening. I mean, it could have been a ritual. It could have been her trying to hydrate after she slit her wrist. I'm not sure. I'm confused. But either way, yes, dark moments for Sarah. Nancy gets home in the rain to her drunk mother and her drunk stepfather arguing about why the electricity went out. It's a storm. However, Nancy's mother thinks that he just didn't pay the bill. So this starts an argument. Nancy lies soaking wet on her bed as droplets from a leak in the ceiling drip on her forehead. Nancy's life is depressing, to say the least. The next day, the girls go on a field trip to the forest to chant and enter into the circle with perfect love and perfect trust. Then, in the most unsanitary way possible in the early 90s, they drink of each other's blood in a chalice of wine and speak on their issues. What do they hope for with entering into the circle? Bonnie wants to get rid of her scars. Sarah wants Chris. Rochelle wants to get even with Marcia Brady. And Nancy, well, she wants all the power of Manon. Then, as if magic, butterflies surround them in the sunlight, letting them know that Manon has heard their words. The next day at school, Chris is all over Sarah and agrees to tell his friends that he's a lying piece of shit. Then he carries her books like a Stepford boy while they go to mass. Homeboys are wondering what the hell is up. Everybody's laughing at him. He deserves it. One night, when the girls are all kicking it real teenage girl-like, smoking cigs and throwing popcorn, they decide to do light as a feather, stiff as a board. It's when all of the girls lie around one girl. Everyone concentrates, breathes deeply, and chants light as a feather, stiff as a board, 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 light as a feather, stiff as a board. And they thought it was a game. They thought it was a joke. Until Rochelle and her big head and butt were lifted off the ground and into the air. As soon as the girls realized what they had done, Sarah's mom comes in with towels and wonders, are they smoking? Yes, they were. But right now, light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board. After that, they're feeling themselves. A lot of dressing alike in different order like Destiny's Child and slow-mo walks through the quad. Sarah pulls Laura Lizzie's hair out so that she can do a spell on her for messing with Rachel. Things are getting interesting. I'm entertained. Sarah shares with the girls one night that her mom died while she was giving birth to her. Nancy and Bonnie work on another spell to remove her scars. And it shows just how damaged Bonnie is by being a so-called monster because of all of her scars. It's really messed up, to be honest. I wouldn't want to be her. Like, who wants to have a great face but then scars all over their neck and back? The next day, Marcia Brady gets out of the pool and notices her hair is coming out. Her scalp has scars and it looks quite uncomfortable. Rochelle is allowed to take an excellent dive without interruption. Bonnie goes back to the doctor and finds that all of her scars have disappeared. Oh yes, the girls are coming out. She struts into class late, bouncing about. I really have a love for Neve Campbell, but I digress. Everybody's magic is working except for Nancy. Rochelle says, I think she doesn't want to be like white trash anymore, but it's like, you're white, honey, just deal with it. Which I thought was hilarious. When Nancy gets home, her stepdad is trying to raise up her robe, and her mom smacks him for saying that her father was just a trick, and he raises up on her and threatens to backhand slap her. Nancy screams for them to stop, and it causes a fire in the microwave. When her mom goes to see about the fire, she stands there and gives her stepfather Ray the eye until he has a heart attack. And then they inherit $175,000. Not a lot of money, and it seems as if they went through it quickly. However, taking her out of trailer trash territory, I guess her spell worked after all. And you guys, I love the apartment. It just didn't have any furniture in it. One sofa, a jukebox, a mattress on the floor. That was it. That's all I saw. Maybe a lamp. So the girls come to see the new place. And the mom is obsessed with showing them her jukebox, but Nancy ushers them into her bedroom so that they can do some glamour spells. And this is important because this is when everybody kind of learns from Sarah how to glamour. And they're going to continue to glamour and to eventually use glamoring against Sarah. At first, she just changes her eye color, which can be achieved with contacts. But when she closes her eyes, takes a second and rubs her hands through her hair, changing her tresses from brown to blonde in an instant, and then shaking it out 5 seconds later, well, the girls were giggling with excitement. Nancy said, "I want a smaller ass," a testament to the times. Oh my, how they have changed. Then, at 3 a.m., Chris is screaming outside of Sarah's window for her to come out, as if her dad isn't going to show up and ask him what the hell he's doing, which of course eventually he does. But it just goes to show that Chris is tripping. The next day they go back to the occult store and Sarah wants to undo the love spell, but it has to run its course. Nancy finds a book to invoke the spirit. She actually wants to pay for it this time. So I guess they didn't run through the money that quickly. Had a little pocket change, didn't you? The store owner tells them anything that they put out there will come back ×3. They kind of ignore her and then go to the beach to call the corners and invoke Manon. It's actually one of my favorite scenes. I love the beach, but the music in combination with the close shots of the different reptiles and butterflies, all of the things that they had to bring for the spell in their hands and their clothes and their Doc Marten boots. I mean, I was just in love with everything about this scene, just to step out of character for a second and tell you how obsessed I am with this scene. It's like one of my favorite scenes in any movie, okay? Because it was just a vibe and it definitely created the feel of what was about to happen next. Because the girls get on the beach and they pull out the snakes and they talk, and Nancy is being weird. You can tell it's already starting to go to her head. Sarah is sharing with her how she's always had a fear of snakes and reptiles and bugs and things like that. And Nancy tells her that she needs to respect the serpent, totally ignoring where Sarah is coming from, but a moment where she learns something about Sarah. Then all the ladies arise to call the corners. "We pray of thee, we invoke thee. Show us your power, show us your glory." They're into it. I'm into it. It's lightning, it's thundering. Nancy screams, "Fill me, Manon!" And then she's electrocuted. In the morning, they watch as Nancy walks on water back towards the beach, still showing signs of electricity on her skin. She says that Manon came to her. He's inside her. And then we see the dead sharks all up and down the beach. Nancy screams, "These are my gifts. I'm your daughter now. It's everything. It's everything." And I'm just like, girl, you crazy as hell. These people on the beach gonna think y'all did something to these animals. Like, shut up. Everybody else is kind of like, you know, we with her, but we ain't with her type of thing, you know, where they're not really standing that close to her, but they like around her. Things have changed. They've changed. Bonnie's changed. She's kind of a bitch now. She's feeling herself. Nancy is powerful and it's gone to her head. She's driving down the street in her new fancy drop-top car and she's changing the lights from red to green, damn near getting in car accidents. Sarah is scared and nervous and thinks that shit has gone a little too far and would like for them to rail it in. She's looking to Bonnie and Rachel to back her up, but they're too busy giggling like idiots, and Nancy is just out of control. They seem to take some offense to Sarah stressing her concerns about how deep they've gotten into the magic, into the craft. Back at school, Rachel finds Marsha Brady in the shower crying. "I just don't understand it. It won't stop falling out." I still don't feel sorry for you, Marsha Brady. But Rachel seemingly feels bad. I can't tell. Sarah agrees to go on a date with Chris. I don't know why. He's already showed you that he's crazy. But still, she goes on a date with him and confides in him about how the girls have turned on her. He's not really listening, though. He's trying to pretend as if he understands her, but it's obvious that he's just coming from a place of wanting her and feeling the need to have her. He forces himself on her, and she gets away and she runs towards a hill, and he catches her because he's a football player. And then you hear the buckle from his belt clack, and she knees him in a peen. And I was like, yes, what the, like, how did we get here? Like, you were gonna rape me on the side of a road? Like, what is this? Like, he's lost it. He's completely lost it. But again, I'm looking at Sarah like, who told you to go on a date with this fool? He was already wilding. So she runs through the woods to Rochelle's house. Rochelle doesn't look poor. just to be clear, okay? That house looked nice. I'm just saying, because she's stealing shit out the store, but the house looked nice, okay? Sarah goes inside and tells them what happened, and Nancy is pissed, okay? Nancy says, no, I'm going to the party. They got a party tonight? Oh, I'm going down there. She goes to the party he's at on some boss shit, pale as a powdered donut. She gets a very drunk Chris into a bedroom, and she tries to push up on him, but he pushes her away because he really don't want her, drunk or not. And I don't know why she did this to herself, okay? She ended up embarrassing her damn self by pushing up on him. You already know he don't want you. He done disrespected you several times, and you still pushing up on him, trying to get a one-up on Sarah? You crazy, okay? You're bugging. You played yourself, okay? He pushed her on the ground, and so she sits there and she shakes, and then she glamours and turns herself into Sarah, which he's drunk, so he doesn't know what the hell is going on. He gets excited. They start making out, and just that he's about to, unlatch that belt again, the real Sarah walks in, and then the spell is broken. He freaks out. Sarah is like, come on, Nancy. You've done enough, Nancy. Get off the bed, Nancy. It's like, girl, Nancy ain't your friend. Leave Nancy dumbass right there and go to your house and try to figure out a way to put a protection spell around you and your people so they can't come to you and mess with you like they about to do, okay? But she out here thinking this hoe is her friend. Oh, did y'all peep how Marsha Brady tried to ask Rachel, like, how's it going? Girl, get out of my face. We ain't friends, bitch. Nancy says she's there to make Chris forget about Sarah, and he says that she's just jealous of him and Sarah's relationship. She spazzes out on him. You don't even exist to me. You're nothing. All you do is treat women like whores when you're the whore. And that's gotta stop. He says he's sorry. She says, oh, he's sorry. And then Chris goes flying out of the window, down to the pavement, splat. And I would say I was sorry, but he tried to rape that girl, so whatever. After this, Sarah attempts to bind Nancy's powers, but it doesn't work, and Nancy knows about it. That night, she has a dream of the girls coming into her room and choking her to death. The next day in school, they bust in the bathroom stall on her and threaten to kill her. When they leave, they ask how she's been sleeping, letting her know that they magically came into her dreams to scare her. She runs to the occult shop looking for help because she's scared out of her mind, which I don't understand because she's more powerful than all of them. She's a natural witch. They actually had to take power from her in order to get the power that they do have. So the fact that she, was just so scared throughout the movie was kind of annoying at this point. Like, boss up, bitch. The lady at the shop tells her that her mother was a witch too, and that she'll help her. Her mother is inside telling her to be strong. She can defeat her enemies, but she has to surrender herself to the higher power. She has to invoke the spirit. Sarah says that it drove Nancy crazy. The lady says Nancy takes it to a dark place, but you don't have to. So they start chanting, but Nancy and the girls are already on her and do a glamour to make her think that the shop is exploding. So instead of staying there and chanting with the store lady, she runs off, okay? She runs off, she runs back home to her house to find that her parents are not there. And then Nancy calls and tells her to turn on the television, and it says that Her whole family died in a plane crash. They thought she went back to San Francisco. So they were flying back there and the plane crashed. So now she's losing her mind thinking that her parents and her little brother are dead. This is the type of shit that bitches who claim they're your friends do. That's why you gotta be like, what about your friends? Will they stand their ground? Will they be low down? Or will they turn their backs on y'all? Okay, what can it be? I'm a little too friendly, so to speak. Hypothetically say I supply creativity to what others mistake as a form of self-hate, only to make an enemy, which results in unfortunate destiny. They dog me out, then be next to me just cause I am what some choose to envy. Okay, look, that's what it is. TLC never had a realer song than that one when it comes to this situation. These bitches ain't her friends. This is terrible. Who does this to somebody? Her people though? Letting her think they dead? Man, y'all the. It was just a glamour. It didn't really happen, but even to do that to somebody is just terrible. Sarah runs outside to get some fresh air, and all of these snakes, maggots, rats, lizards, and big-ass hairy spiders just start to cover every inch of everything, the walls, the floor. I mean, when the rat was on her shoulder, I almost lost my shit. I was jumping out of my seat no matter how many times I watch it. It grosses me the hell out. She ends up hiding in the shower, and Nancy jumps out, gotcha, like the crazy that she is, and tells her that, you know what, you're really pathetic. Why don't you just kill yourself and get on with it? And Nancy was really like low blowing it. You know what I'm saying? Blaming her for Chris's death. It's like, no, you killed Chris. All right. Then she said she killed her mom when she was coming out of her. Bravo. I was like, wow, bitch, I hope she stabs you. Rochelle asks, why isn't she using magic on us? Nancy says, because she's weak. Weak. Well, that's because y'all have been torturing her in her dreams for days now. Okay? Y'all had a head start. They start chanting, now is the end, let her go in peace. Nancy cuts her wrist and she runs upstairs and starts to chant. Nancy sends Bonnie and Rachel after her. She starts to chant ×3, let them see, let them see. And when Rachel and Bonnie pass the mirror, Bonnie sees the scars all over her face and Rachel sees herself bald. And that's all it took for they scurry asses to go running out of the door, leaving Nancy all by herself to face Sarah alone. So she scrapes a knife on her way up the stairs. Sarah is in the mirror, and when she turns her back, Sarah steps out of the mirror and scares the shit out of her. Okay, I was like, yeah, Sarah bossed up, bitch, yeah. She invoked the spirit. She invoked Manon, and he told her to tell Nancy that he's pissed with her. She took his gift and she misused it, and now she's got to pay. Sarah's wounds are healed. I mean, she looks strong, moisturized. Then she starts to chant to bind Nancy's powers. And Nancy tries like, I'm sorry, it just got out of hand, I'm sorry. But then when Sarah won't stop chanting to bind her powers, she just runs up on her and starts to bang on the wall, and they go all the way to the end of the hallway. And then there's wind coming with them. It's all this wind and papers and shit flying everywhere. And then she's like, ah! And Sarah's under her, ah! And then a dresser comes flying out of nowhere. Nancy jumps out of the way and it seemingly crushes Sarah. But Sarah, being the strong witch that she is, kind of disappeared. And when Nancy moved everything out of the way, her outfit was laying on the ground and she had turned herself invisible. And right before Nancy tried to stab her with an athame, shout out the charm, she kicked that bitch and she went flying across the room. She hit the mirror and her ass was on the floor, knocked out. Sarah was able to successfully bind Nancy's powers. The next day, everything seems to be back to normal. Her family is there. Her dad is there. Everything seems to be good. And then you see Bonnie and Rachel coming up the driveway, asking if she still has powers, trying to pretend like they sorry for what they did. Oh, it was all a glamour, talking about her parents not really being dead. You think? Okay? And they're like, well, we don't have any powers anymore. So if you ever want to call the corners or anything like that. And she's like, yeah, why don't you guys hold your breath? Like, I would really want to kick it with y'all after y'all tried to kill me. Like, you serious? Ugh, the audacity of these batches. So they giggle. She probably doesn't have any powers anyway. And then Sarah turns around in her fluffy light pink sweater and makes the sky turn gray, and thunder rumbles, and lightning strikes a tree branch that falls down from the sky and damn near decapitates Bonnie and Rachel. Yeah, that's right, Rochelle my ass, Rachel. Sarah says, be careful. You don't want to end up like Nancy. And then we see Nancy through a peephole in an asylum. She's wrapped in a straitjacket and she's screaming, I can fly! I can fly! I can fly! Because the nurse had to come in and drug her, so that was her calming down. But yes, that's the end. You guys, I love Craft. It's one of my favorite movies ever, so I definitely was excited to do this for y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed my review of the movie. You guys, like at the end of the day, Sarah took way too long to boss up. But I'm just annoyed with how gullible and stupid Rochelle and Bonnie were. Like, Bonnie seemed kind of smart. Rochelle seemed kind of smart. And they really let Nancy buck their heads up. Like, wow. And then to come my girl after the fact talking about you want to call the corners because y'all ain't got powers now. No, bitch. Y'all don't have powers because I binded them hoes. What? Ugh. Y'all, I love this movie. It speaks on friendship and watching out for the fake ones, okay? I hope y'all enjoyed this first installment of the Halloween movie reviews. I will definitely be coming to y'all once a week for another Halloween movie review. And next week, we're going to do Vampire in Brooklyn. So I hope I will see y'all there. And for the members and the Patreons, I hope I will see y'all for the watch along. I'll give y'all a actual date when we get sooner to that time, okay? So I love you guys so much. I hope y'all enjoyed this and, you know, happy Halloween.